Hello, everybody. I want to share a little bit about my story with COVID 19. My family and I have contracted COVID 19, and we are experiencing it right now. Um, so I'm just going to share a little bit of how we contracted COVID 19 and about our symptoms and how are we managing things in the house. Give me a second. Sorry about that. So I'm going to start off talking a little bit about how we contracted the virus. Excuse me if I take a deep breath at times. It's just I have trouble catching my breath. Of course, because of COVID and also because of my asthma, it's making it a little bit more hard. So, my dad works at a supermarket, and he is sent to every supermarket of the same name. So he's sent to all the stores that have the same name. I'm not gonna say the name of the store. And what happened is one thing that has happened at his job is that a few of his coworkers have had the virus. Not directly coworkers that are like working with him, but because again he goes to every location. They have various locations of that store. So people that work at certain locations have contracted the virus, but not in every location. I'm not sure if that makes sense. If you don't understand what I'm trying to say, you can always send me a message or comment below. Um, so again, I'm not sure if he got the virus at work or also because on June 12th, he went to a funeral. His cousin passed away from, I believe it was a stroke. But my dad's not even sure if it was a stroke. I don't think they really clarified to him if it was a stroke. So on the 12th, June 12th, 2020, he went to his cousin's funeral. And in the funeral, after the funeral, they went to the cousin's wife's house and they ate there, and they also took their mask. Well, they took their mask off so they could eat, and they also took their mask for pictures. They were taking pictures, and it was my dad, his two brothers, and the family of his cousin. And they were really close to each other, and they took their mask off. This was on the Friday the 12th. Then the 13th came, and then Sunday the 14th. I noticed since the morning my dad kept coughing. He was coughing all morning. He was coughing in the daytime. He was coughing at night. And I kept telling him like that cough is not normal. And then he said something like, it's allergies, or I've experienced something like this before. It's not COVID-19. And I told him, go get tested. He's like, I know it's not COVID-19. I'm like, just please go get tested. I'm going to make an appointment for you tomorrow so you go get tested. So I told him that, and he was kind of like refusing, not believing that it could have been COVID-19. Since obviously he's married to my mom, they shared the same bed. So that night, I told my mom, like, you should stay here by yourself, and you should tell my dad to stay in the living room because he's been coughing a lot. So when I told my dad to stay in the living room, he's like, why am I going to stay in the living room? I don't have COVID-19. But he'd end up staying in the living room that night. Next day, it's Monday the 15th, I believe. Right when I wake up, around 9, I call and I schedule an appointment for him in the area that he was going to be working so he could go get tested. And I spoke to his doctor and I told her what he was experiencing, and I was concerned and I wanted him to get tested. I then called my dad and I told him that he had an appointment. No, that the nurse was gonna call him to schedule an appointment for COVID testing. my dad didn't really want to get tested. He told me he was really busy to go get tested. I told him, make a little break in between so you could go get tested. So as um, time went by the same day, I asked my mom, because she had spoken to my dad. I'm like, oh, is my dad going to go get tested? And she's like, I don't think he is because he told me he was really busy at work. I'm like, he has to go get tested. So then I kept calling him and I told him, you must get tested. Like, if you don't get tested now, it's going to be kind of hard for me to get another appointment. So the point is that he ended up getting tested that Monday, the 15th, I believe it was. And, sorry. And he got tested. And apparently, and then they told him, once he got tested, they told him he couldn't work for 3 days until they got the results. 3 days passed, and my dad still didn't get the results. So I would go online and check. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain this part. So, actually, I'll explain this right now, but I will go online and check and see if the results were in, and there was no results in for my dad. So what happened was that on Thursday, I think it was the 18th, Thursday the 18th, yeah, they called him. His doctor called him in the morning and confirmed that he was positive. At that point, I had already woken up that same Thursday with symptoms. I woke up with cough. It wasn't a bad cough. It was just a light cough. I woke up with a little bit of sore throat. It wasn't like really painful, just a little sore. As soon as I found out he was positive, I became kind of anxious. And what I did, because at this point I thought he was the only one that was positive, right? Because he was the only one that was tested. So I felt like, like he needs to be isolated. So because we only have 3 rooms, one of the rooms is he shares it with my mom. The other two rooms are one mine, the other one's my brother's. I gave him my room so he could stay there isolated. And since he was staying in the living room, I disinfected the living room and I moved to the living room. This was on Thursday the 18th, I believe. And his doctor recommended us to get tested. Sorry. I might need to do 2 different parts just because sometimes I can't talk for a while because then I can't breathe. So then on the 19th, Friday the 19th, I called and I scheduled an appointment so my mom and I could get tested. But they gave my appointment earlier. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to stop this video, take a break, and come back for a second part because actually I'll continue. Sorry, after all, breathing at times. So before they give you an appointment to get tested, you need to have a phone appointment. At least with Kaiser, we have Kaiser. So they gave my phone appointment at 11:30 on Friday the 19th, and they gave my mom's phone appointment at 4 p.m. the same day. And they only test from 9, I think, in the morning, or 7 in the morning till 4:30 p.m. So if my mom has her phone appointment at 4 p.m. on Friday, she's not going to be able to test on Friday. And since it was Friday, the weekend was coming, and they don't test weekend, so we will have to wait till Monday. And I kind of want her to get tested Friday. Anyways, so my doctor actually called me really earlier. She called me earlier than the time that was originally our phone appointment. Since you called me earlier, I was able to schedule a COVID testing at 12:30 on Friday. So I went to go get tested again. But this is something I didn't tell you guys. The interesting thing or the weird thing is that I had gotten tested a week before the 19th. I'm not sure what day it was, but a week before the 19th, the Friday before I got tested because I had light symptoms. That same Monday, when my dad got tested, I got the results of the test I took on Friday. I'm not sure. I don't have the dates with me, but a week from the 19th, Friday, a week from the 19th, I got tested. And on Monday, when my dad got tested on the 15th, Monday the 15th, I got the results of the first test I did, and they were negative. They were negative. But because my dad was positive when he tested on the 15th, I had to retake the test a week after, which was Friday the 19th. So basically, I tested 2 times back to back. The first time, I came out negative because at that time my dad didn't have the virus. Second time, my dad tested positive, so we all had to get tested. So then, I tested the 19th, but and on Friday I already had like more cough, more weakness, more symptoms, and my mom started having symptoms Friday too. She was just feeling very tired, some light cough, nothing too crazy. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna have to stop it right now.